One of the key inspirations for this work was a memory from my childhood actually, and that was of getting up in the middle of the night with my dad and going out into the countryside to view Halley's Comet. And it's quite a vivid memory. I think I would have been about 11 at the time, and the thing that really struck me about that experience was a kind of perceptual phenomenon that happened where the comet became more visible when you viewed it indirectly. So if you didn't look straight at it, if you looked just to the side or something, the tail and the comet became more visible. And yeah, and that memory has an association with the way that I work in my art practice, in that I tend to work to the periphery, so I don't work directly with things. There's kind of a deferred view or a slightly askew view, which for me kind of brings things more into focus. So rather than being direct or didactic, it's more a kind of poetic, indirect way of working. And so yeah, that was that childhood memory that kind of looped back to how I kind of tend to work today. I guess what I'm trying to communicate through the works is a sense of, in a way, being overwhelmed by the amount of imagery, particularly photographic imagery, that we encounter every day. And I guess it's trying to find a way through all of that kind of visual pollution and try and find some kind of poetry or meaning in it. So my work tends to use found imagery and also images that I take, but a lot of images that I collect. And I've kind of amassed an archive over the years of different images, and I draw on that archive for each body of work that I make. And in this particular case, it started with images of the universe and phenomena like the comet, and then kind of expanded out to include other things. So in a sense, they're kind of like fragments of things, and I tend to think of them more in terms of poetry than narrative. So they don't really mean a particular thing. They kind of have multiple entry and exit points kind of contained within them, so that hopefully the viewer can, bring their own experiences and ideas to the works. They don't kind of spell anything out. They're more like triggers for thought rather than actual statements about something. These works are a bit of a shift for me in that normally I work with photo prints on photo paper or photocopies, usually paper-based. These are a bit of an expansion for me because it's the first time that I've worked with digital printing onto a substrate, which is canvas in this case. So they're stretched like painting, so they kind of become a more substantial material fact in that they're a more solid surface for me to work on. And the canvas material that the background images are printed onto, I then work over the top by sticking other images, objects, filters, film filters onto the top, and then I also stitch thread through the canvas. So that's something a bit different for me, is that working with direct digital printing.